Today we're going to talk about an amp modeling software from Mercurial called the Tube Amp Ultra 530. And I'm always intrigued with amp modeling stuff because it's come such a long way since the beginning of like the Line 6, the pod era and stuff like that. And there's a lot of good physical modeling and impulse responses now from companies like Kemper, IK Multimedia, Waves. There's a lot of companies out there doing great things. Bias, they have some really cool stuff. So I'm always intrigued when a new company comes along and starts to dive into that because each year it just gets better and better. And some of the stuff you hear these days, you just can't believe that it was just tracked straight in, to a DI or straight into the Kemper, whatever it is you're using. And so I'm always intrigued to check out and see what the new stuff is. And this one I found unique because it did the physical modeling of like the power amps and the preamps and the tubes, and impulse-based response for the cabinets, which is pretty common. But the actual physical modeling of the schematics is always very interesting to me. And I will preface this with I'm not necessarily, I do play guitar and I've played it for years. I play multiple instruments, but at heart, I'm a bass player. I've always been a bass player. That's my primary instrument. So I don't claim to be any type of massive shredder or anything, but I always have needs and use for this stuff, and I do a lot of overdubs on electric guitar. But I do preface this with this one's very heavy lead gain driven. That's not necessarily my niche, but I always have use for it, especially with like power pass stuff here in Nashville and that kind of stuff for just doing power crunch stuff. But really, I just want to play a few examples and let you hear it. I'm not going to go real deep into the user interface because I always encourage people to go and check it out for yourself and read up on it and learn about the product. And I think that is just a better way of going about that kind of thing. So first off, you might gain some knowledge that you didn't know. And secondly, you know exactly what you're getting. So maybe it may not be for you once you see what it has to offer. Maybe that's not what you're looking for. So instead of, wasting the time of just downloading it and going into it, I always encourage people to read up about it first before trying, and then give it a try and make sure it's something that could benefit you. So without further ado, we'll just I've got kind of a preset sound that I've dialed in. We'll monkey with that, and then we'll talk a little bit about the user interface, and you can decide for yourself. Okay, so just a little bit of noodling there. You can hear things I look for in amp modeling is really the biggest thing is, especially with distorted or overdriven type circuits, is how does the harmonic content react, and like doing the pinch harmonics and things like that, and just letting it kind of decay and hear it and listen to it and see if it has that sound and response of an amp. And things like doing hammer-ons and pull-offs, does it have the kind of response that you would expect from an actual, circuit and speaker? Does it have that breakup? Does it have, certain discrepancies that you're going to get with a real amp? And I feel that this does offer that. And what's neat about it is being able to interchange tubes, on the fly like that. It has oversampling, so you can get even more accurate modeling. It has as you see there on the screen, it has a fast and precise setting, which allows for different computing. So if you have a really fast computer, you can use the precise because it's going to use more resources. And if not, you still get a great sound, but you can use the fast setting. And I like the graphic display it has for the mic placement on the cabinet. It's kind of a really cool visual thing, a little bit different than just moving it around like you see in the right hand corner. It has the speaker, and that's the typical setting. But I like the graph look because it kind of gives you just a better idea of how you're dialing it. And it has the inches there on the side and exactly where you want to place it between the cap edge, cone, all the way out. So that's a really neat feature. It has multiple preamp sections. It has a clean lead section, has high gain, even has a preamp defeat, so you can bypass the preamp entirely. The same thing goes for the power amp. So that's a cool feature to have. You can bypass the cabinet. Maybe you have another cabinet modeling plugin that you use, and you can just bypass that. It has a built-in chorus, and it does sound good. I won't go over that right now. It has the clean and lead channels on it, so you can dial in between the two. One thing I'm hoping that I discussed with them that I hope to see in a future update is maybe some more effects built in. I love to track with delay. I'm using my pedal right now because I'm sure you heard the delay. So maybe have a few more of those kind of features in there because this thing does sound really good. And real quick, I'll turn the high gain off and go to just the clean lead, kind of just warm overdrive crunch sound. Bypass the power amp. Preamp defeat. Take the cabinet off. So there's a lot of useful features in this. I think it's great sounding, a lot of great ideas. I highly recommend checking it out because I think it's only like $59.99, and you get a lot of versatility with this, with the interchanging of tubes. You have a list here of several different cabs, and there's a description on the website of what each one is, so you know exactly what it's modeling. So there's a lot of really useful functionalities here, and especially if you're looking for more, if you're needing a heavier type sound from your amp modeling, and maybe you have a lot of clean type plugins that you use for clean sounds, but you haven't found one yet you like to really get some of that high gain. This one is a really good model of what it's modeling, and it's actually modeling the E530, the Engel amp and cab setup. So yeah, you guys need to check them out. It's Mercurial software. I will put a website link in the description for you so you can check them out. And until next time, guys, keep it grooving.